There was a sound, a whispering sound, coming from the walls, not from one spot, from everywhere, as if the space itself wanted to speak, to stop hiding something. If you are watching this video now, it means someone found my camera. But me? No one knows where I am. My name is Lena Winters. I'm 32 years old, a researcher of the unknown and a documentarian of abandoned places. I look for the stories that people run away from, places where the light never enters and human memory has already faded away. A small local network contacted me, asking me to investigate an abandoned hospital on the edge of town. People said that at night, strange sounds came from it. Screams, a child crying, or something moving inside the walls. I couldn't ignore it. I had to see it for myself. The next day I packed my gear, a handheld camera, a flashlight, and a voice recorder. At dusk, I entered. The entrance door opened with a dry, metallic groan, and the sharp smell of medicine and rust filled the air. The light from my camera was weak. Wherever I turned it, I saw nothing but mist and dust. The hallways were long and empty, cracked floors, torn posters of patients staring into nothing. On one wall, something was written, "Don't go outside." It's not out there, it's in the walls. At first I thought it was a joke, but when I placed my hand on the wall, it was warm. Not the warmth of air, the warmth of something alive. I moved deeper into the hallway. Every room was filled with memories, metal beds, half-burned medical files, and photos of nurses with eyes that had no pupils. In one of the rooms, I saw a cracked mirror, and for a moment, my reflection moved, even though I was standing perfectly still. If you've made it this far into the video, and you feel like something's been watching you from behind, hit the like button. Maybe that single click will help me find my way back. A few minutes later, a faint rustling sound came from the end of the hallway. I pointed my flashlight toward it. There, an old wheelchair, standing still in the middle of the hall. But then, it moved, slowly, silently, rolling into the next room, by itself. My breath caught in my throat. I followed, one careful step at a time. Inside the room there was only an empty bed, but on the pillow, the mark of a freshly rested head. I turned on my recorder. A faint voice whispered, "Lena." It knew my name. That's when I realized I wasn't alone. I moved toward the staircase leading to the basement. With every step down, the air grew colder. The walls were scarred, claw marks deep and desperate. Dried blood traced the corners. At the bottom, a narrow corridor waited, lit by a trembling red light. Files scattered across the wet floor, paper edges soaked and dark. One folder caught my eye. It read, "Patient number 37. Female, 29 years old, claims to hear voices from the walls." Next to the report, there was a photograph. It was me. The camera shook in my hands. A shadow appeared at the end of the corridor, tall, thin, moving in jerks. It had no eyes, but I felt its gaze piercing right through me. A low, guttural sound came from its throat. "You heard our voices too. Now you cannot leave." I jumped back and fell to the ground. The camera spun in my hands, and for a moment, I saw something emerging from the walls, as if the walls themselves had hands. I reached an old operating room. A rusted bed covered in dried stains sat in the middle. A large overhead light flickered erratically. On the wall next to the bed, it was written, "We are waiting," and beneath it, black handprints. When I stepped closer, the recorder turned on by itself, whispering in unison, "Stay, stay, stay." Then, silence. Footsteps behind me. I turned around. No one was there, but the camera saw it. A shadow right behind me, only in the lens, not in reality. If you were in my place, would you run or keep going? Write your thoughts in the comments. Maybe together we can find a way out of this nightmare. I started running. The hallways twisted and turned, walls closing in, narrowing. One room ahead, I heard a woman crying. I grabbed the handle and pushed the door open. Inside, a nurse stood, but her face was gone. Just a smooth, blank, shiny surface. She turned toward me and whispered, "You're late. It's awake." The lights suddenly went out. The camera was my only source of light. My heartbeat mixed with the buzzing of the light. I glanced back for a moment, and there it was. The entity now right in front of me, its hand pressed against the wall, and the wall began to tremble. Thousands of whispers emerged from within. The ceiling cracked. Red light spilled from the fissures. The walls started to close in, as if the space itself was swallowing me. The camera slipped from my hands. The last image, the entity's eye close to the lens, whispering, "You are one of us now." Days later, the rescue team found only the camera. My body was never recovered. But everyone who watched this video said that, at night, before sleeping, they could hear the whispering from the walls. A woman's voice saying, "Did you come too?" They say some voices do not come from the walls. They come from within your mind. And once you hear them, you can never forget. If you survived watching this video, make sure to watch my next videos, because what you saw here is only the beginning of the voices